Hello, hello. Welcome. I am so excited to be on this training webinar, and it is my first time ever. So I am looking forward to the adventures of this hour. Today we're going to share. I'm going to be helping you to see and open up your capacity to receive. This is the Unapologetic Receiving webinar, and you will learn how to access your desires and to call in and receive your desires without feeling guilt or shame. So I really want to have fun today because now I can see that you can see me. So this is great. This is a lot of fun, and I truly want all of us to really fully connect with the present moment. I actually have someone joining me on the live. I don't know, Gracie. I don't know if you can hear me. I think I need to ask you to mute your mic. Just please do that. We have a couple of surprises today, so before anything, okay. I think we're muted. All right. No, I don't think we're muted, but anyway. Okay, Grace, if you can hear me, please do that. So ladies, this is huge for us women. Receiving has been for me, has been a huge stop in my way. And I'm sorry, I just got distracted for a little bit. So I'm gonna reset here. And being in this state of not allowing yourself to receive as a woman is something that it's not our nature. We are meant to receive biologically. We are here in our biology, we're meant to receive. If you think about it, in our anatomy, we receive everything, and in our emotions, we retain everything. So I'm going to teach you today how you can actually open yourself up to allow the receiving without feeling guilt, without feeling shame, without really making yourself even more complicated, this process of receiving. And this has been a very big story for me because I want you to see. I'm going to share many stories with you because I want you to see that it has not always been this way for me. Today I have a beautiful life. I am so blessed to be able to live in Los Angeles, to live in New York City, to have a gorgeous, beautiful relationship with my soulmate, to be on my way to $500,000 on my business on my first year, to travel the world, to be able to visit my family for months at a time in Argentina. I tell you more about me in a moment. So, but I am creating this life. This is the life that I've always wanted, and it keeps unfolding, and I keep receiving this new level for myself. So, but it wasn't always this way. I'm going to share some of my stories that might shock you. To really, I even shock myself when I look back and I say how far I've come and how much is possible in not such a long time. So to introduce myself a little bit, my name is Paula Lacobara, and I have a coaching business where I teach and support women to connect with their femininity and their beauty so they can be who they are and live their beauty unapologetically in the world. And to me, this piece of being unapologetic is huge because I was one of those women who always had to ask permission to be. I was one of those women who had to feel sorry about being in the world, who thought that I might hurt others, or others might I would take away from others by being who I was. And I take a stand for us women today to really own who we are from a place of self-love, self-worth, and self everything, because we are who we are. We are here to offer so many gifts and to do so much in the world. And I know that you want to have that impact. I know that You are meant to receive everything that you desire. And I have the pleasure to witness not only my own transformation, but the transformation of many women around the world. So before we begin, my intention is that you open yourself up to receive fully on this call, and that you allow yourself to relax, to be here present in this hour together. This is a big way for us women to receive. So when we are all contracted, we're not letting anything in. We're blocking, in fact. So when we allow ourselves to relax, to really be in the present moment, this is how, one of the ways that we allow ourselves to receive. As you can see, we are already starting this call, and we are already starting the teachings on this call. So, a little bit of housekeeping. I know that we're on the computer, most of us, so just make sure as much as you can to take this opportunity to be here for you, to move away from distractions, to make sure you have water, you have a tea, anything that you require in order for you to relax and be supported here. Also, make sure you have a pen and a paper. There's going to be a lot of information, and yes, I will send the recording, but you also want to make sure to write some of the questions down, because at the end of this call, I'm going to open up the Q&A questions, the Q&A section of this call, and you can ask me any questions you want. Now, I have done a couple of calls, not a webinar, but a couple of calls in the past, and all I can tell you is that towards the end, women shy away, and they don't ask, and they're like, oh, and I know, and I can see them being on the call, and yet they don't ask. And it's not that we don't have any questions. It's really, I think, about being visible, and we're all shy, and we're like, oh, what if I make a mistake? So before even we start this call, and before I share all the amazing content that I have for you prepared, I want you to really allow yourself to receive this way of being visible on this call and being visible at the end by asking questions. This is your opportunity. We're here together, and I am an expert at this. I master. This was one of my biggest things. Seriously, when you hear my stories, you're going to be like, what? So I want to support you. I'm here for you, and I want you to allow yourself to receive this level of support by you joining in the call. So let's do this. Write your questions down, and at the end, I'll answer them for you super happily. So I have a cheat sheet here because, again, this is my first time, so I love for you to have patience with me. And I want to tell you what we're going to talk about today, though. This is very important. We're going to talk about the number one thing that's blocking you from receiving your desires and the fastest way to open up to receive to your receiving channels. We're also going to talk about the two major misbeliefs that keep you locked in guilt and shame when it comes to receiving. These are big ones. The one quality you require in order to allow the abundance to flow into your life. And the three ways that you can connect with your feminine essence so you can allow yourself to receive everything that you desire. All right, are we ready? Wow, I'm super, super thrilled, like super thrilled to be here with you. I am so grateful that you made the time and the space to be here. And I want you to know that at the end of this call also, I'm going to be sharing a special offer that I have prepared for you, particularly for this call. So I like for you to stay until the end, and I will reveal that what is for you. And yeah, and then again, you can ask me questions. I will open the Q&A right after that. So let's just anchor ourselves for a moment. This time is for you. This time is for us. This time is the realm of the feminine, is to where we go into, we're so busy in our lives. We're like running around, taking care of everybody else. And this is your time. This is the time where you can allow yourself to be, to really connect, to ground, and to listen. Everything is available to you. The universe, God, whatever you want to call it, it's ready to pour its abundance to you. But we're not open, we're not available because we're so distracted, we're so in our crazy lives. And I get it. You know, we have demands, we have kids, we have families, we have a business, at work. I get it. I get it. But this is a sacred time. This is a sacred space where you can be and you can start practicing, because this is a practice. You can start practicing to receive in your life your desires and whatever you want to call into your life. So let's close our eyes for a moment, just for a brief moment. And I want you to connect with your breath. And more importantly, I want you to connect with your feet on the ground. Just feel the connection with the earth, with the floor. Just feel your 5 toes really grounding. Each foot, really the soles of your foot, really grounded. And notice how the rest of your body, as your feet get grounded, it almost like everything takes place within itself. And take notice of your body. Take notice of what is going on within your body. Your body is the tool. Your body is the gateway to receive. So this is why we're taking this minute here to really connect and really be present. Allow yourself and start practicing the ability to receive your breath, to receive the environment where you're in, to receive the chair where you are, or anywhere, like to receive nature if you're in nature right now. Even just by having the awareness will immediately open up the channels of receiving. Oh, all right. So when you're ready, take a deep breath in one more time, slowly and gently. And when you're ready, only when you're ready, just open your eyes. Beautiful, amazing, amazing work. Congratulations. So, what is the #1 thing that's blocking your receiving? So, this is huge because over and over and over, I witness women not being able to voice their truth. So what's really blocking you from receiving what you desire is that you don't give space and voice to your truth. So we know that we have been conditioned for generations and generations and generations. And a lot of us have learned to just conform, just to just receive the crumbs, like the last pieces, not to really step into who we know we are, but to remain silent and to just really not open yourself to who you truly are. And to be able, and this is also because of what women went through, right? Like we were burnt back in history. So anything that, I mean, we learned by conditioning, by these patriarchal, culture, that we were supposed to shut up, that we were supposed to not voice our desires, that we were supposed to stay put and stay silent and obey. Luckily, we're not in those times, but we're still holding on to these beliefs. So how do you allow, like, this is how do you allow yourself to unblock and to open your channels of receiving? By asking what you want, by asking for what you want. And I want to share something that is fresh out of the oven this morning. I keep having these experiences in my life over and over and over. And, I come from Buenos Aires, from Argentina. Again, I'll share a little bit of my story on and off, and you'll hear more about me. But if you don't know me, I am originally from Buenos Aires. I came to America at about 12 years ago with one suitcase and many dreams. I didn't have anything. My sister paid for my plane ticket. And so here I am, really connecting with, like, I allow myself to receive in a big, big way. But the reason why I mention Argentina is because I grew up, knowing that you weren't able to ask for what you wanted, that very much you have to conform. And we had, we really had a history in my country where, we experienced a military coup. And, there was a lot of repression. There was a lot of, like, people couldn't really, it was all underground. It was all, like, underlying. No one really was able to speak their truth because they had the risk to be killed. And I know Argentina is not the only country that's experienced this. So just really notice in your own life, in your own culture, and where you come from, which this is kind of leading me to the next point that I'm going to discuss, but it's very relevant, and I really wanna bring this up right now. So for me, in my country, not being able to express your truth, and it's very much like, like, for example, if you go and buy something, then you can't return it. Like in America, is completely different. And if you purchase something and you're not satisfied with it, you return it, right? But not everywhere is like that. So I definitely, coming to America was a big teaching for me of what my rights were really as a human being and what I was able to claim. And this is not only applied to American. I'll show you an example that in a moment. I'll share an example of what this receiving piece was that I actually experienced it once I was back, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago in Buenos Aires. But anyway, long story short, so this morning we just moved to this gorgeous apartment in Los Angeles, in Marina del Rey, and we're still decorating. You can see a gorgeous piece right behind me. This was the first thing that landed in my house. I didn't have anything, but I had this gorgeous mirror, of course, that is totally me. And so, little by little, we're decorating. We got a gorgeous couch, and we kept ordering, and I've been traveling so much that I really haven't had the chance to go to different places to look for furniture. So some of the furniture I order online. And so talk about receiving, right? So I'm gonna make a connection in a moment, but I really do want to share this. So we come back from New York the other day, and we have all the boxes here, and I start opening the boxes, and the furniture that I received, it was like 4 pieces of it. It wasn't like the same way that it was advertised, and one of the pieces was broken, and the other, like, I ordered this really beautiful bench for my walk-in closet so I could sit and get dressed and put my clothes, really beautiful. But anyway, it came cracked in the bottom. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? And this is the first time I ordered from this website, so I really, I thought it was a good quality. Obviously not. And, if it was me before, I would have been like, oh my God, what do I do? I guess I'm going to have to glue the bench. I guess I'm going to have to glue the little piece that it's missing. I guess I'm going to have to maybe paint the thing that didn't look like the color. And you know what? And now I know better, right? So what I did immediately, I called the people, and I said, listen, this is the situation. This is what happened. And I didn't call from a place of entitlement, or I didn't call from a place of, your furniture is, crappy. Like, it wasn't from that place. It was actually from a place of truth, and say, claiming my truth. Listen, I made a purchase. I paid full price for this, and the quality is not. First of all, I'm not agreeing with the price and the quality, and second of all, it is the first time I order other things on your website and it was great, but this is not working. So they said, please send me the photos. I say, I can send you photos. This is absolutely outrageous. And what they did is, long story short, this morning I woke up, and after sending the photos and after sending the proof, they were going to reimburse the full amount. And not only that, but they had me kept the furniture, which it doesn't matter. Like, some of the pieces are not worth it for me, and I might give them away, or give them to somebody that might need them. But I'm saying, like, I allow myself to voice my truth, and it was with truth. It wasn't like I was making it up to get an advantage, or it wasn't that I was trying to get away with it. It was from a place of truth. And I didn't expect that to be refunded, and I didn't expect that they will have me keep the furniture. So that is an example of how, when you ask for what is your truth, for when you ask for what you believe is the right thing, you get it. So one of the main things for us women that we don't do is asking for what we want. And I want to encourage you on this call for you to really take a moment to think in your life how many times you have not allowed yourself to receive to voice your truth and to speak from a place of asking what you desire. Okay, so the first thing is that we need to ask. So, following the lines of this example that I just shared, when I went to Argentina, I think it was like 4 years ago, and we went with my boyfriend at the time, now my husband, and we went to the waterfalls, and we went by bus. We didn't have that much money then, and so we were like trying to save up, and it was a big trip and a big commitment for us at that moment. And so with something in the bus, in the trip, we had a really bad experience. And now I'm in my country. Now I'm in my culture. Now I know that I cannot ask for what I want. Now I know that even if I ask, people don't care and they won't give it to me. So I thought. So I went right after that with this new self. Like, by now I was already working on this receiving. Like, I knew that I knew that I had to ask for what I wanted, and they might have said no, but I knew it was boiling within me that I really had to claim what I knew it was true for me and what I deserved, which then leads me to another point too. So what I did is, after I got out of the bus, I was at the bus station, and I went into the company and I say, listen, this is what happened. This is, I can't believe it. This is not fair. This is not what I agreed to, and this is not what I paid for. And I don't know what you can do, but I'm really hoping that you can do something, because I'm not satisfied with the service. Like, that is completely bananas in South America. Like, if you ever go to Argentina, you will know what I'm talking about. And if you are from one of those countries, you know what I'm talking about. It kind of like the guy looked at me with, like, if I had two heads. But then after I really, and again, it wasn't coming from a place of entitlement. It was coming from a place of truth, like pure, straight truth. It wasn't blaming. I wasn't blaming him. I wasn't making a drama out of it. I say, this is what happened. This is unacceptable. I am not satisfied. And we didn't get the money back, because I guess that's not a policy, but what they did is they gave me an extra ticket for another trip that I would like to do in the future. So it was something. It's actually super big. Again, if you're from that part of the world, you know what I'm talking about. And I felt so good, because yes, it is part of the receiving is claiming what you want. And some people, I see women all the time, they're like, oh, I am blocked. well, they're lacking this ability to ask for what they desire. And they also lack the ability to know and to have the clarity on what they desire. Okay? So very important for us women to really start owning this piece of claiming what's truth for us, claiming what we desire, and ask for what we want. Very, very key. And I hope you're taking notes of this because, and I really want to encourage you to practice. This is big, and it took me a long, long time to really connect with this. The two major misbeliefs, as I was sharing, part of it is the culture. Like I was sharing, like in my culture, I learned that we were not supposed like to speak. You know, even if we did, no one would care. So who cares? You know, and so anyway, so whatever that is, I knew that there were certain conditionings that came from my culture that were already preset in my mind that I was not supposed to receive, that I didn't even have the right to speak up, and that I had to conform and stay put and stay small. Okay? And religion is also, you know, the religion part, I was raised Catholic, and, you know, I was really active in the church growing up, but now I realize how also part of me being so, you know, I'm not saying the spiritual part of the Catholicism is great, and some of the pieces that I learned were about being guilty and shameful for everything, right? I know you can identify, and I'm sure some of different religions also have the same. You know, if this shoe doesn't fit for you, and if, you know, this is not about criticizing anything or anyone in the religion, in any religion. I am all fond of like whatever rocks your boat, whatever really connects you with the divine. It's exactly what you require, and that's perfect. But, you know, as I started doing my own personal journey, my own personal growth, I realized how much I was influenced by this feeling of guilt whenever I received. I mean, I'm telling you, when I landed in Miami, I was also feeling like I was, you know, I was not from America, so I was like, oh my God, like this is a total foreign place. And, you know, it was really hard because I was alone with my sister. My sister was my only relative here. So, you know, it was hard for me to trust other people and trust that people would receive, you know, would want to give me, and me receive without feeling that I have to give back right back, because who are they? They don't even know me. Like, why would they give me? Little by little, I understood that it wasn't just them giving me, but it's the universe providing, and them being the angels, or the how do you say that? The angels, or just the way the universe communicates with me, you know, at that moment. So, but I even remember I had this really thing with men, and I remember going into dates, and, you know, of course, I'm an independent woman, but I remember I couldn't even accept someone to pay for my meal. Like, I had to give half. Like, it would feel so uncomfortable for me to even relax and say thank you, you know? And I mean, again, right, talk about like being in your feminine power. I was so much in my masculine because, well, of course, because I was in a different country, and I was so, like, I didn't know the culture too much. There were actually so many different cultures that I wasn't sure how to react. But yet I know that so many women on this call are so much in their masculine, and they do this. They don't lean back and allow themselves to receive. So it's almost like, you know, like you have to, like, I remember I had to put my money in my pocket, you know, my hand in my pocket, and like really breathe. And it was so uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. Immediately I felt the need to, like, trying to compensate, trying to really happen, and trying to make it work. And you know, another part of all that was that I wanted to be liked, that I wanted to please everyone, that I knew myself to be like the superwoman, and really like trying to provide for everybody else, because I also learned in my culture and in the religion that, you know, that I had to give and give and give, and not receive, you know. And receiving was always, it felt like almost bad. It felt like a sin even, you know, how dare you. And you know, I know my mom meant well, but growing up, you know, we had a very good life, and I always had everything I needed, and you know, and more. I would go out and, you know, buy my clothes when I wanted. My mom was always in my family, my parents, my dad too, but I would go out with my mom, and you know, we would go out shopping, and you know, I've always been provided for everything that I desire. And now that I look back, I also wasn't trained to ask for a lot. So I guess there you go, which is another point. But so, you know, like this piece of me, like really like feeling guilty or bad about receiving, it's been engraved forever. Forever since I was a little girl. So it took a while, like it's almost like you have to turn the wheel over in order to allow this process. So it will take practice for you, and I'm sure not only in you know, in your family, but your culture has also such a big impact. So not only what, like my mom, for example, what I was saying before, I got back a little. What I was saying is that my mom would, you know, tell me, you know, make sure to save for those who don't have. Make sure, don't throw that away. We'll give it away in the church. And I know, it, of course, right? Of course. And she meant well. And yet, what I learned from that is that, well, you know, I have to give to others first. I have enough. I should conform. I shouldn't desire more. And, you know, I wouldn't be here if I was still being ruled by those beliefs that that I learned as a little girl, right? So again, so your culture, your family, the religion, those are beliefs, and those are things that we have really, like, we haven't so much in here, and they will require for you to, first of all, to get really aware of what those voices are. What are they saying? I don't deserve. Save for the poor. You know, receiving is bad. Like all of those, like you have to recognize them. And once you recognize them, then you can create your own version, your modern version of that. You know, I allow myself to receive. I am worthy of receiving everything I desire. I have, and others will too. You know, like really like bring the opposite and really start reading it day and night to really start connecting with that truth that we live in a very abundant universe, that there is more than enough for everyone. Some people just don't have this information. That's all there is. It is about having the information and knowing how to do it, knowing how to apply all of these like teachings. There's so many books on abundance. There's so many manifestations, meditations. There's so many, all of these things, and it is in you ultimately that you will give yourself that permission to open yourself to receive, to really bring it in and allow it to come in. So I have the third point here. Let's see. Oh, right. So the one quality that you require in order to allow yourself to bring this abundance to is being unapologetic. And why do I say that? Because, again, as a child of God, as a child of the universe, as being part of the universe, and again, I honor and I respect your own beliefs and your own religion and culture. This is what I believe, and you take it and transform it into what speaks to you. Because I really want you to get the message. I don't want you to get hung up in like my God, your God, and all that stuff. I really want you to understand more so of like when we are a child, when we are children of God, we are here for to have everything. Everything is available to us, and we need to allow ourselves to open that and to believe that that's the truth. To receive everything that we desire, and that we can ask for what we desire, and being that it is our birthright. And but the way I teach my clients and I apply it in my own life is by being unapologetic about it. Being unapologetic is an attitude. Being unapologetic is really knowing what your truth is. That's why a lot of the internal work is so necessary for this. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to write this mantra and I'm going to receive. Oh, I'm going to, just read this book and I'm going to receive. No, there's a lot of deep work so you can clean and unblock those beliefs. So it's a process. Now, we can accelerate that process, and I'll tell you that in a minute, but it is a process that you need to unfold, and there's layers and layers and layers. And sometimes to receive big, you have to open yourself to go for it in a big way, right? We'll talk more about that later. But being unapologetic, I just love that word. I love that word because it has such a power. Like, say it, unapologetic. When you say that word, it's almost like something, when I say that word, something within me, it's almost like, yes, it's like that power. It's something that ignites. So being unapologetic about your receiving is something that it's a commitment that you have to have with yourself. It is a commitment that you have to open yourself to gift yourself that opportunity to experience, knowing with all of your heart and soul that you are here to receive, that you are meant to receive, and no matter what other people tell you, no matter what they said, no matter how much or how little you experience this, know that the more you keep connecting with this unapologetic experience of who you are, you will claim it. You will feel the confidence to open up. You will allow yourself to bring it in and call it in to your life. Okay? So time is running here. I'm looking at the clock. And I have one more point, but first off, I really want to bring someone on the line here today. I have a dear, dear woman that, this woman is a powerful woman in the world. She has such a huge influence in women around the world. This is a woman who created a business, a stylish business, and travels and lives in different places around the world at a time. And, she is creating, she is allowing herself to receive in a big way. And she honors herself by honoring also others and teaching other women how to build a stylish business so they can open themselves to receive at a big level, and also to allow themselves to be on purpose in the world. So I want to invite here Miss Grace Kelly with CityGirlConfidence.com. Gracie, are you there?
I'm here, Paula. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Oh, this is fab.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Fabulous. Thank you for having me. What a great call.
I'm glad. I'm so grateful that you're here. So Grace Kelly right now is in Sydney, Australia, and we actually met not too long ago for a conference, and she just decided to stay because she loved it. So Grace, you are such a big example of what a woman, when she receives and when she allows herself to receive, can do in the world. So I want you to share a little bit of your experience, and also, your experience together. Please share.
Sure, sure. It's a pleasure, Paula. Well, it is like you said, it's very much it was very much ingrained in my culture and my religion, being an Irish Catholic, to not receive. And so when I came across your work, I really didn't even understand that I wasn't open to receiving. I just had lived my life, quite frankly, you know pleasing others, providing for others, and somewhat codependent on others. And so when I came across your work and heard you speak about this and really saw the type of life that you were creating for yourself, I knew immediately that I wanted in because I wanted to get up to big things in the world. I knew my business was taking off, but I also knew that like any business, in order to create consistency, a woman has to be really working on herself and oftentimes on the pieces that are most difficult for us. And so through our work together, when we started, I really opened up this whole new channel of the City Girl Confidence brand. And at the time, I'd spent months not being clear on exactly what I wanted to do next. And part of that block was because I didn't want to voice my truth and admit that I wanted to travel, that I didn't just want to travel, I wanted to live in America for a short time, and I wanted to live in different cities and different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, Paula, the work that we did together really opened me up so much that this year alone, I've been able to spend months in America, months in Italy, and now I'm here spending months in Sydney, Australia before heading over to Miami.
Oh my God.
So our work really opened up not just the clarity that I was blocking, but the ability for me to be in relationship with my handsome and supportive man, but actually speaking my truth to him about what I wanted. Because much of what I wanted required travel, and much of what I wanted required more money and movement and moving out of the comfort zone. And when you're in a relationship, I'm sure for anyone listening on the phone who's either married or has a family or children, you got to take other people into account. But sometimes if we don't take ourselves into account first, then we can get a bit resentful of the other person. So you really taught me how to not just open up this clarity, but communicate what I wanted to my partner. And lo and behold, he was so up for it and got on board and traveled with me. And he just arrived actually in Sydney last week. So, from a business and relationship and confidence point of view, our work together has been significant. So thank you for opening me up to something I didn't even know I was blocking because it was so ingrained from the culture and the religion in particular in my case.
Yeah, Gracie. Yeah, my pleasure, absolutely. And, like, I mean, what would have happened if you were to follow those beliefs? Like, what would have happened if you just stay put, you know?
Well, exactly. I really believe that if I hadn't done this and really connected with you and gotten through these pieces, I mean, first of all, I wouldn't be traveling the way I'm traveling, and secondly, the vision for my business would not be here. And without a vision, I truly believe that we can't make the money we desire. So it really opened me up in so many ways, and I do believe that the financial piece is huge because part of the work that we are all doing here is understanding that when we ask for what we want and we follow it, we actually receive a lot more abundance from the universe as a result of that.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that every time I witness you is like I am amazed at your ability today of receiving. Like even in Sydney, right? Like how like you decided to stay and then you made everything happen and the money that you required came for you to make it happen. Like you're so connected today with your truth, with who you are, and you know that you have the right to ask for what you want. So it's so you're so deeply connected with it that and you are right, you're teaching that to your clients as well, correct?
Yeah, of course, of course. And you know, I do one of the reasons that I feel so deeply connected is I think particularly after our intensive in New York, you know, we really opened up something there in particular that got me connected to my body in a big way. And you know, for any one of us running a you know, a successful six-figure business, you can get somewhat disconnected from your body to a degree. It can become a lot of the mind, it can be a lot of the intellect. And so during our intensive in New York, I really feel that the body piece opened up for me. And so now I'm connected to what my body wants. And I can feel like when it's not right for me, my body's feeding back. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
before, I might have just put up with things and let my well-being be challenged. So yeah, part of why I can be so connected to the truth is because I know I know my body's going to let me know if I'm not following through on what I want.
Well, it's funny. I'm not sure if you were on. I think you got disconnected and then you jumped back in. But that's what I was saying in the beginning when we were connecting. For this call to be present because the body is the gateway. The body is our
Yeah.
instrument, and without our body, like I always teach that, and the clients that are on the line, they know. Maru, I see you. You're on the line. So like those it's so important to be connected, to have a beautiful relationship with your body, which leads me to the next point, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the self-care piece of every woman in business and in life, because we're so much running around and really not being present.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Paula.
you.
I'm really enjoying this call.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being such an advocate of also with your City Girl confidence, showing women what's possible, and allowing them to create the life and lifestyle that with the business that they desire, so they can be on purpose in the world.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love what you show, what you do, and how you really support women in that way.
Thank you. You too.
All right, my love. Mwah. Talk to
Mwah.
you soon. All righty. So they're just going to ask you, Gracie, to mute yourself if you can. Just, yeah, thank you. So, the third piece that I'm glad Grace actually opened up that space is how to connect with your feminine essence. And this is so big. Not only if you're in business, if you're a woman entrepreneur, but also if you're a woman in life, period. I have so many clients that are not entrepreneurs only, and those who are, but those who are not too. You have a life, you have a family, like I was sharing before. You have your work, and sometimes we put ourselves last, and we forget that we actually deserve to have the time to pause, to take care of ourselves, to connect with pleasure, with the things that we truly enjoy in life, to connect with our self-care, to allow our bodies to I'm laughing inside because to allow our bodies to really receive that love, that massage, that facial, whatever that is. And I tell you why, I've been traveling this year. I've been everywhere now. I kind of lost track. I didn't really imagine that it was going to be that way, but in between living in New York and Los Angeles, and then now, we went to Paris, and I was in Argentina for 3 months, and Sydney, and now Miami. Like, you would think, how is this woman still being successful and is still being like doing things in the world, and on top of that, how is she doing it? How is she doing it all? Well, we can have it all. We can absolutely have it all, and it requires a lot of self-care. To give yourself time to, like when I travel, like to give myself the time before and after, to make sure that I eat the proper foods, to prepare and set my body as my temple, so my body can be in that state of receiving. When your body is sick, you're actually blocking, energetically, you're blocking everything to come to you. So your body is your tool, and it needs to be in optimal condition. So, by also allowing myself to beautify myself, it really raises my energy, like rises, sorry, my energy. It really brings me to that high vibration. And, it's not just beauty because, oh, I just want to be beautiful. It's not about vanity more so than it is to be in the truth of who you are, to really bring everything forth and from the outside in, also in the inside out, to be in that full connection. Like Grace was sharing, it is so key for us to, like she said, like, now my body lets me know. And it's so true. And your body will let you know when you're ready and when you are able to do it, to take care of yourself, to, again, to provide yourself with eating. Like, for me, it's all about beauty. And so, eating beautiful foods, eating delicious, well presented, being surrounded by beauty in your environment. This is why this was my first object in my house, even when I didn't have a table to sit on. Like allowing yourself to be surrounded by beauty, allowing yourself to be connecting with the truth of who you are. And you are in that feminine, you are in that, like, again, pleasure. I'm very well known for, for when I eat, I really savor my food and like really connecting with things that make me feel good, because we are here to feel good. We are here to feel good. And from that energy, from that frequency, you will attract. I mean, we're constant magnets. We're constantly attracting, whether you want it or not, whether you know or you're aware of this or not, you are attracting what you think. You're attracting who you are. And so if you are in a highest vibration, that's what you're going to call in your life. And if you're not in a high vibration, you're more like in a lower vibration, and you're sick and you're moody and you're like not feeling well because you haven't allowed yourself to take care of yourself and or to receive a massage. I want to share something. When I was practicing my receiving, it was big for me. Again, this subject of receiving, not only that I was paying for my part in the date that I had, and I feel kind of awkward saying that, but yeah, I just didn't know how to receive as a woman in the world. I thought that I had to give and compensate and be liked in order to be loved and to to even be taken out. So that was big. And when I was started to practice more of the research, I shared this story before, but I really want to share it again if you didn't listen to it, because I remember I had a friend in the city. I was in New York City, and I had my day off, so he asked me if I could drive him somewhere, and I said sure, of course. And I did, and I parked the car, and I said, you know what, I'm practicing receiving. I'm going to give myself a foot massage because I love foot massages. And so I said, well, let me do that. And so I did. And I calculated the time. I put the coins, the meter, and I fed the meter. Everything was good. Everything was great. And, I had my foot massage. And I know that the time was running close. And I said, well, I'm going to go. And I started kind of, rushing to the car. And totally on point, I see the meter guy a minute before writing me a ticket. So it ruined my whole experience. I was so upset, and all these bliss that I got from my foot massage got ruined at that moment, because I'm like, and I was consciously practicing receiving. So be mindful that, that's why, because I didn't know at the time that I had these underlying, so I had to go back and really look at what were the beliefs that I still didn't believe that I could enjoy a foot massage and not get a ticket while doing that. And then I also have a story that I received. I used to work at a spa, and my coworker who did facials, she gave me the most amazing facials. I mean, facial. It felt so good. It felt amazing. I was in bliss. And and I was receiving. I was in receiving mode. I truly allowed. Like I even think I fell asleep for the first time. Just really blissfully feeling so supported and feeling so loved and so pampered. And I got out of there, and the woman, my coworker, I guess she was late, but I had no idea because I was in receiving mode. I wasn't supposed to control anything. I was just supposed to receive. And I come out of the room, and then my boss at the time, was upset because we were late for a client, and she like yelled at me at the moment. I'm like, you're kidding. And so like this whole bliss brought me back to, so I'm sharing this because it is a journey to receive. And I wish at that moment I knew that, what I know today and what I teach my clients, like there is a way to kind of, and what I work with Grace, we really worked into like going deep and really like going and getting in there to really come out and really bring to light those pieces that are hidden, that are hidden, and that we so closely put them away because we know it's not our truth, but we learned that that's who we were supposed to be. So I highly recommend you. And the third piece is that when you ask for what you receive, you require the faith. You require to trust that you will receive what you ask for. So it is almost like if you go to a restaurant and you say, you order something, like if I go to a Mexican restaurant and I order a quesadilla, and then every 2 minutes, is it ready yet? Are you sure you heard that I was going to bring it? Yeah, if I tell the waitress, are you sure you heard that I ordered quesadilla? It's not a burrito, it's a quesadilla. Like, can you imagine being in that energy and what she's going to like bring me? But can you imagine being in that energy of like being so like controlling and not really relaxing and not really allowing yourself to receive and letting it be, knowing and trusting and having faith that the universe, God, it heard you, that it's all ready. You just need to be in that state of receiving, in that place of joy, in that place of pleasure, in that place surrounded by beauty, so you can be and allow and support your body with the self-care so you can allow that to happen for you. Okay? So, wow, yeah, okay, we are, time is flying. I see. Thank you, Carrie. She says that she loves my red lips. And Maru says, hi. I am so glad to have you ladies on the line. And before we jump into the Q&A, I want to tell you a little bit about why I'm doing this call. The reason why I'm doing this call is because, like I shared before, my life wasn't always this way. I just share some of my experiences with receiving, and it wasn't always that pretty for me. This is why I do what I do today, because I really want to take a stand for women to really connect with the truth of who they are, with their true beauty, so they can really bring forth and call in every desire of their heart. And really, first of all, allow themselves to even feel those desires, to even feel that they have them. I wasn't even able to access my desires in the beginning, And so, like even 3 years ago, I wasn't there. And so, in such a short time, I am where I am today. I have a beautiful, successful business. I have a loving relationship with a man that I adore, and he adores me. And I'm not painting this picture of picture perfect. I am saying that I've created my life in a way that I choose every day. And of course, there's always going to be things, and there's always going to be challenges, but I am choosing it. I am in charge of my life, and it feels amazing because everything I call in, like today, like even without even intending to, it happens. I am being given and I'm being gifted. I had the opportunity to hold a private day intensive in New York just when I was in New York, and I shared on one of my mailers. It's just amazing. This woman completely, I don't know if you are on the line, and you might be, but just really like bringing who you are to the surface and beautifully opening yourself to really call in everything you desire. Antigua says thank you. Mwah. So good to have you on the call, Antigua. So with this, I wanna tell you a little bit about my private day intensives. I want to share a little bit of what is really like why I am here on this call. I want to introduce you to a program that can really transform your life. It is a 1 day just for you. And why, like, one of the things is like, if you're wondering why a private day and what it's possible and available in a 1 day intensive for you right now, or why would you even seek someone, a beauty mentor in your life, well, I tell you why. Because there is a place for us women to learn to become a woman and to step into our femininity and in our beauty and in our feminine power. And we learn to do this by other women. That's how we learn. That's how they did it in history. So what happens is that many well-intended people in our lives, especially women today in our lives, friends, relatives, family members that are so close to us and they know us so well, don't have a level of objectivity that it really, to really give the kind of feedback and mentoring that every woman craves. So part of the reason why, I do this is because, like I shared, in ancient times, women used to gather together and they used to mentor together and they were always together. And, you will learn from your aunt, from your grandmother, from your mother, from the women in the tribe. Like, that's how women mentor each other. But today, in the modern world, it's not the same. We're much more disconnected. We live a different lives. Some of us are not even close to our, a lot of like the big important people in our families in our lives, right? So me too. I created new relationships, but so this is what. Sorry, I gotta drink some water. And so the women in our life today, they give us advice, but they'll give advices through their own filters and through their own stories. So I am a trained coach, and I am trained in the profession of health, beauty, spirituality. And I have worked in my own feminine empowerment to such a degree that now I am from this expert level, I offer feedback, the care and the nurturing that, again, the very well-meaning women in your life or family members in your life cannot deliver, only because they're very, very close to you and to your environment, or to whatever situation you're going through. So even if they want to, they're not really capable, not because they're not available, but they're not really, like, they're too close to you and they cannot give you that feedback. So if you want to, like, again, this thing about receiving is huge for us women, and there are layers. And even some clients that I work with, then we find a new layer. And there are, even in my own self, there are a new level, a new layer. But you gotta start somewhere. And sometimes the first ones are the ones that need the most work. So if what you want is a sacred space, a safe space, away from your day to day, from the people who know you and who see you and the way they're so used to seeing you. This is what a private beauty and mentoring private day is for. Part of the beauty of this work and why it is so transformational is that you get to have a very personalized and attention just to focus on you for the whole day, and allow yourself, by doing this, you allow yourself to receive, to be seen and witnessed for who you are and not for what others expect of you. And I am trained to see and many people can attest that are on this call, to see the truth of who you are. And we'll call in your shadow. We'll call in those pieces that you think you are and you're not. And I have that ability to see beyond what your mind thinks it is, and will call in your truth. So, in some people, like in other ways that people might not see you, or you see your beauty or your brilliance or your power, because some people have, like, people in our lives or our family, they have this idea, maybe you were the funny one in your family, or maybe you were the one that always felt safe to go to. That was me. Or maybe you were always the one who who were the smart one but not the pretty one. Whatever the story is, what I will provide is a completely objective space, a neutral space, and a safe space for you to be seen, again, for who you truly are, without the filters and without what people think that you should be. So you can allow yourself to really bring forth that truth and start, first of all, recognizing it within yourself, and then moving into the world and how to apply it for yourself. So all of that we'll do in that private day intensive. And you also get to enjoy in a different destination. So whatever calls to you, I'm going to be back in New York, I'm going to be in Miami in December, I'm going to be in Buenos Aires, and I'm here in Los Angeles also hosting intensive. So each location will bring out of you that piece, that missing piece, that piece that you require, and you will know which destination calls you. You will know. So if this is something that interests you, and I'd be happy to talk to you personally to make sure that this is the right fit for both of us, and that you're making the right decision. If this is really calling you, and working with me is something that you really desire, this is the time to open yourself to receive and call it in. And I'm offering a complimentary discovery session, so you can feel completely comfortable, and that you have the right fit, and that you're making the right decision. This is very, very important for us women to know, because we're not used to asking for what we want, that we're making the right decision. So this is why I would have you come in on a call with me. And I know what it can be like if you've worked with people before, or if you joined other programs that just haven't been the right fit for you. But if you like, this is why I'm here. And we'll have in this discovery session, I'll make sure that you feel fully comfortable and confident, and that you're making the right decision as you are investing on yourself in this level. Okay? So the reason why I'm doing this now, and the reason why I wanted to have this call right away, and this just came out very spontaneous, is because I had the offer of this private intensive that are going up after October 31st. So remember, the price of the intensives are going up after October 31st, I'm sorry, and I am opening my calendar for the next 2 days, today and tomorrow. And I have 7 spaces. Those run really quickly. So I am sending you right now, at this moment, I am sending you an email that you can reply to book a discovery call with me. All you need to do is hit reply and say, tell me what day, either tomorrow either today or tomorrow, and Friday too, actually, to book your discovery call together, and then we can make it happen, and then we can get on the call and really make sure that this is right for you. And again, to really make sure that you are in this space to receive, because I also want to make sure, that for those who are on the recording listening to this, you still have time, and you'll get that email, so you can also reply back, or you can send me an email at paula@paulalacobara.com, and we'll super happily send in and start getting that session right away. If you'd like to read more about my private day intensive, And I have a description of all the programs there. You can go to www.paulalacobara.com/international dash private dash intensives. I believe we're writing it on the chat box. Yeah, there you go. That's my hubby. He's helping me today. So thank you, Rob. So on your private day intensive, you will receive all of what you require in order to claim your truth, your authentic self, and calling the life of beauty you desire. Really knowing and opening how to receive. I will also guide you to deepen this relationship with receiving, and most importantly, you will receive a 90-day program on how to move forward and how to implement everything that we uncover on that day together. Okay? I am not here to give you any false hope or any false advertising, and no one can do this work for you. This is you. I can't do it. No one can. Trust me. I know the many times that I wanted to, like a little girl, like, someone please do it for me. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And yes, I get it. But this is your life. And what you will learn in this day together, and when you will uncover together, you will create the life that you absolutely love, and you will create it in a way that it's supposed to be for you and not what other people had the idea for you that your life should be like. Everything I teach in my works, in my work, works for me and has been working for my clients all over the world. And so when you allow yourself to invest at such beautiful level, something happens. And within yourself, like your self-worth, your confidence, your perception of who you are already transforms just by allowing yourself to go there. So this full day, you will ultimately work for you if you're fully committed. If you know you're done living a mediocre life, if you know you are here for something bigger and grander, and you need guidance on how to get out of your own way and how to allow it to come in. So what I want you is to really tap into your truth right now. What is it going to take for you to make a transformation in your life? And let me tell you, this private day can offer a radical transformation. I've seen it over and over and over, and I actually, one of the women that was here too, Gracie just told you, like, we really did this deep work that just opened herself up to a new level of receiving. I want to make this very clear for you. When I touched bottom, I knew that the only way was for me to go like my life depended on it. Like, to go for this kind of work, and I was desperate. Let me tell you, I was not in a place where I could just take any chances anymore. At that point, I knew that if I would continue living this kind of life, painful and dreadful, that was not the way I knew it was supposed to be. And I knew that I was meant for more. I always knew that. That was only 3 years ago, like I share. I was really like desperate and really like wanting to, like, someone see me. I couldn't even see myself. And I asked for the support. And all the what I teach is everything that I learned on how to get out of your own way and really move forward. And look at the life that I'm creating. And it's so possible for you as well. I truly desire this for you. And I know that every woman should be living this way. Why? Because we can. Because it is available. Because it is not just for some of us, it's for all of us. And because it is your birthright, like we shared before, to be happy, to have fun, to experience every exquisite beauty from everywhere in the world and to create an impact that the world only can get from you. So, only if you're at this level of commitment, contact me because I really want you to be present and know your truth. And let me tell you why. Because I know that you will be transformed. I know what is possible. And yes, there might be a money stretch. I had to do it as well. But let me tell you, money can buy the amount of happiness, joy, and high energy that you will experience. And from that place of high energy, you will call even more because there's no limitations to abundance. It's all available for you when you say yes to yourself in that way. So when you say yes to yourself in that way, then you are given the green light for the universe to keep pouring its abundance onto you. You're given a very clear message. Yes, I am ready. I am here. Show me. Give me more. That's what it was. That's what I had to do. That's what I did. And I would not be here, trust me, if this wasn't true. I see it in my own life at this level over and over. And I see it in the life of all of my clients, like I shared before, all over the world. Week after week after week. They blossom. They find a new way. They find a new awareness. It really is amazing. I mean, how blessed I feel to be and to have, like my mentor says, to have the front row seat on these women's lives. And it would be my honor to witness you also blossom and really connect with the truth of who you are and call in all of the abundance and all of the desires of your heart. So with this said, remember, hit reply on the email that you just received, or you can directly contact me at Paula.Lacobara, LACOBARA.com. That's my personal email, and I would super happily book a call with you today and tomorrow, and also Friday, to really be present and see if this is the right time and the right work for you. Okay. So now I am going to go to the chat box. Let's see here where we are. Well, thank you so much. I know we have to take a little moment. I know that yeah. So we're learning with this technology that there is some delays. So I am going to take a few moments. I'm going to drink a glass of water, and I'm going to give you some time to write down those questions for you. Let me just check here. Great. Beautiful. So, yeah, so this is your time. This is what I was saying before, to really bring in your opportunity for me to answer one of your calls. So what you can do is go to the chat box and write a question. I'll probably have to wait until you hear me, but in the meantime, I'll let you know that I am so happy to be here and so excited that I have this so grateful for this technology piece that now you get to see me live and you get to taste a little bit about my work and who I am more than with my voice. You can see me in person, and you can see that I'm human, that that I am really taking a stand for you and to really like have this gorgeous life. I mean, I'm overlooking at the marina here, and it's just glorious, super glorious. I'm not sure. Honey, do you know if there's any? How do I access the questions here? Will they be showing up on the chat box? Okay. Ooh, we have one. Okay, so one of my clients is on the line, Maru, thank you. And she says, fabulous webinar. It's been amazing to work with you to uncover a whole lot of stuff I could not have figured out on my own. We all need mirrors. Mm, thank you. Thank you for being such a loving mirror in my life. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Maru, it's such a pleasure. I mean, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I get to work with these amazing women in my life, and everything is possible. Whatever you desire. I never really knew that things that I was gonna create this life, and little by little, as I kept allowing myself to receive even more, things started opening, and again, it's really connecting with my femininity, with my beauty, and all of the things that I teach. Okay, we have one more question. Okay, Tracy. Hey, Paula. I don't have a question, but I wanted to let you know that your webinar is the universe's way of reinforcing what my kinesiologist was speaking to me just yesterday. I need I need to word on feelings of guilt, relating to accepting all of the abundance that the universe is ready to send me. Love, love to you. You're fabulous. Tracy, of course, I'm telling you, this is universal, women. This is universal. This thing about feeling guilty and shameful for receiving, and we are only blocking ourselves. Don't get me started. I start over now, but like we shared before, we are only blocking ourselves. And the beauty of it is that we can also unblock it. That's it. We can also do it, and we can also be it, and we can also claim it for our lives and for ourselves. Thank you, Tracy, for sharing. Anybody else who has a question? I can see that now the delay maybe is being processed. Thank you, ladies, for being here. It's so loving and so feel your energy right now. And again, I'm giving some more space. Hold, hang in there. This technology is fabulous. And again, like I am, next time I wish I could see everybody too. I'm sure we'll get there at some point. Um, Anybody else who has a question, I am here for you. If there's anything that wasn't super clear on this call that you'd like for me to expand on, please let me know. I'll be happy to. Anything personal that you have that you will want me to address, particularly on this call, this is your time. You get to have a little taste of who I am and how I can support you in moving forward. It really is amazing how I experience it over and over and over. Women just blocking themselves from receiving. So I really, really want you to consider to booking a call with me and see how we can actually get together for a private day. You will be amazed of the immense release and transformation that we can experience, that you can experience, and I can support you and guide you with in a very very nourishing environment, providing, of course, beauty and really calling in the feminine aspects, connecting with your body, and all of it, all of it. I wish Anne was here to share too. Anybody else? I'm gonna give you a few more minutes. I know wow, we're like an hour, almost an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, somebody else here. Stephanie shares, hi Paula, I was curious if the intensives need to be in person, and do you think the work is more profound in person rather than through Skype or phone? That is an amazing question, Stephanie. Yes and no. It depends on who you are. I've had experiences with women who have done private intensives online, and it has worked so powerfully. And I think that because we really set ourselves in our minds that that was going to be it, we made it work. And so again, immense transformation. Maru can tell you, we actually had a 2-hour intensive, a 3-hour intensive with her, And in this case, because she's part of my long-term program, but Maru, like, right, like how much was like the transformation that you experienced. So I personally, I have no preference. I know that with the intention and with the work, we can make it work no matter what, whether it's online, whether it's on the phone. I do prefer to do actually over Skype than over the phone. I think there's such a beauty on me being able to, we being able to see each other and connect in that way. And of course, in person, there's a gorgeous experience that we get to be together. So it really, Stephanie, it really depends on where, where you are and how you perceive it for yourself. If you feel convinced that that could be it, then it will be. It's all about what you think it is for you. But the effects are absolutely the same. I will guide you to the same exercise that I do with the women on the phone. In person. So it's a different experience, but nor good nor bad. You will get exactly what you require because we'll put the intention for it. I hope that answered your question. Thank you for asking. Anybody else who has anything else in regards of the private intensives and how they work, or if there is anything regarding this call, and anyone who would like to share what is the number one thing that they got out of this call and they're going to experience right away after this call. What is the one thing that you will allow yourself to do right after this call as you are inspired in opening your channels of receiving? So I'm going to stand by for a minute or two, and whoever is on the call and wants to share as a commitment, because this is how we do it. We commit, and by really call it in, we make it work. So what is it that you are committed to do in order, and after this, right after this call, to start allowing yourself to receive? I'll wait a few minutes. So beautiful. This is so fun. All right. I'm not receiving anything. Let me just refresh this. Maybe this is what I need to do. Okay. One more minute. I'd love to hear from you. What is it that you got from this call that you're ready to apply right away? What is it that you know that it's so that you can start igniting your receiving powers? You can see how some women are in private here. This is interesting. Thanks again, everyone, for those of you who share on the chat, and for the beautiful words and for the loving words that I received from you. Thank you so much, Carrie and Maru and Tracy and Eve and Stephanie. All right, ladies. Well, I'm not sure if it's a delay thing or what, but it's been such a pleasure to connect with you, and so excited that now I get to play with this technology. And I look forward to connecting with you very, very soon on the next call. Keep your eyes on your inbox for that email that I sent you, so you can book your discovery call with me, so we can see what it is for you and if this is the right time and the right opportunity. So I'm sending you tons and tons of love. Such a pleasure again to be here, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.